People of Earth, good evening. Today is June 24, 2024. And here are the developments of the current galactic events that affect the future of Earth as a planetary civilization. In this week's edition, we will go over some points in the information delivered by Thor Han Eredyon regarding the disclosure of secret space programs. And Altean emissary Oona will give us a report on a meeting that occurred in her home galaxy. Stay tuned and welcome to this 36th edition of Star Nation News. Last week, High Commander Thor Han Eredyon delivered a very important information about some developments in the plan of disclosure of the secret space program. There is still a lot to unpack from this message. So I have asked him to elaborate on certain points. First, Thor Han mentioned, quote, revealing the existence of the Earth Alliance was seen as endangering the safety of the human population, as the competing dark institution, led by a great evil, would immediately counter by launching their false invasion program, attempting to discredit the Earth Alliance forces and causing immense confusion. Let us see what he has to say about this. And as usual, even though Thor Han says he's calling Earth Terra, it is agreed that Earth is easier to use in order to avoid unfortunate automatic translations issues. I will tell you what the Earth Alliance is and what are its tasks that will resume by intervention, infiltration, cooperation. The Earth Alliance is a coalition of various on-world and off-world organizations, such as positive factions of the Earth military, positive parties among the Earth governments, that is, those not associated with the shadow governments and their organizations and dark societies. Also, the Earth Alliance includes various factions among the military forces of the Galactic Alliance of Nataru. These includes contingents from the Galactic Federation of Worlds who are trained and physically prepared for ground and underground combat, and who know all about the enemy and what they are dealing with. As you know, these underground clearance operations were officially completed in 2021, with some small isolated remaining areas finally treated in 2022. Part of the Earth Alliance mission is to infiltrate shadow organizations in order to beat the enemy at their own game. By now, all shadow organizations to your planet have been infiltrated by Earth Alliance forces. Due to the level of personal involvement of these secret agents, it is impossible to expose them. The technology you use for remote viewing does not work either, as these particular agents have holographic protective shields. A holographic shield is a technology that cloaks a person or a place from remote viewing, and it is also called a moving hologram. It does not consist of a still image that deceives the remote spy, because we must call it as it is, but of an algorithm that constantly moves with the thoughts and activities of the subject. It is impossible to distinguish the holographic illusion from reality, and that is how our agents are protected. And that includes you, Elena, of course, because it is important to remind the public. A third aspect of the Earth Alliance's mission after military intervention and enemy infiltration is technology cooperation. These programs officially began in the mid-1950s, when the Galactic Federation of Worlds, in coordination with the US Navy, created the first cell of the Earth Alliance and secretly developed a defensive space fleet known as Solar Warden, the Guardians of Sol. Built with technology we taught Earth scientists and engineers. The existence of the Earth Alliance was kept under secrecy until now for its protection. As long as the public didn't know of its existence, it couldn't incite the masses to revolution. Undoubtedly, an uprising of the masses would be a good thing. But we were concerned about the violence that the dark governments and their military forces would use to respond to such an uprising. We have tried to avoid the unfolding of violence and chaos. Instead, progressive disclosure, coupled with the controlled demolition of the global deep state, is the best viable solution. Many factors are at play. The global deep state has been preparing since the early 1940s a program of contemptible operations aimed at enslaving the people of Earth in a mental, labyrinthine prison of engineered illusions. They have had total control over the psyche of human societies, even controlling people's thoughts through a clever manipulation consisting of a multifactorial equation. By this, I mean bridged operations that work in many areas simultaneously. People were constantly bombarded with this program and had no idea that they were in this program of a matrix of illusions. The shadow organizations use the power of human consciousness for their benefit. As long as the shadow governments are in place of influence, however small it may remain, a sudden catastrophic disclosure would cause a terrible imbalance, and the enemy would have no choice but to counteract by, of course, denying the truth, but also launching repressive operations that would cause extreme collateral damage. Behold, such a catastrophic disclosure will happen. I can guarantee it, but it is premature now. We are trying to protect the people. Meanwhile, the process of catching up with technology continues at great speed. That when the moment of the great revelation comes, the gap will be shorter to bridge. The technology that will be implemented right after the moment of great disclosure of everything is being mass-produced on Earth's moon, Luna, and aboard building stations in the Sol system. When that moment comes, it will be like an explosion of truth. But the people of Earth will no longer be in danger, for they will be free. Understand this. And these are my last words for today. For we will talk about this again another time. It is not the great reveal that will set you free, but it is your endeavors to set yourselves free that will allow the great reveal. We will talk soon. Oona, Altean emissary for the Sol system, has returned from a trip to her homeworld in the Altean galaxy, NGC 7331. She attended an intergalactic confederation council to discuss the work of seeding and terraforming throughout the universe. Here is what she kindly shares with us. I was away for a short time back in my home galaxy of Alderan. There was a meeting of the Alderan branch of the Intergalactic Confederation Council. We were gathered to oversee the development of our mission to seed worlds that have been decimated by natural or external causes. I am a member of the group of geneticists and terraformers known to you as the Seeders. There will come a day when Earthlings will be educated in this science of life engineering, and they will see that genetics and terraforming, at the level required for such a task, are a single discipline. The ways of attaching consciousness to a body is exactly the same process as creating an electromagnetosphere for a world. The same techniques and technologies are used. We may seem very advanced in these science to Earthlings, and our knowledge may sound cryptic at times. But we are closer to the source of all things than they can imagine. We have developed technology paired with consciousness, not with implants or devices put into our bodies, but with the expansion of our consciousness interaction field. Not in a notion of space, but on a multidimensional levels. The technologies we have developed have morphed from synthetic to organic. This may seem strange to many of those listening to my words, but the organic morphing of technologies such as spaceships is a very common development in highly evolved societies. One day, you will remember that the highest technology in the universe is consciousness. We meet physically at regular intervals, for we share our frequencies with each other, something that cannot be accomplished by holographic projection. Our meetings dealt with the overall situation of the work of the Alderan scientists with the 9 in the seeding of our and other galaxies. The 9 contacted us and we reported to them. They are assisting the Creator Source by being her manifestations in her creation, And as the most advanced civilizations in this universe, we are assisting them and protecting this work. The reports were very satisfying and conclusive, as 1 million new worlds have been secured, monitored, and protected. The higher we evolve as a culture, the closer we go back to source, and the more we are getting involved with creation. We become aware that we are the creator, co-creating through our actions and thoughts. It is a long way to travel back to where we were once born, as offshoots of the Creator's consciousness, experiencing evolution through her own creation in order to evolve herself. I am Oona, the Seeders faction emissary to the soul system. High Commander Thor Han Eredyon from the Galactic Federation of Worlds left to us last week a message about how the disclosure of the existence of the Solar World and Space Program would unfold. There is something very important to understand, that the truth will be known. This is a fact, this is the future, and we're not moving forward without the truth being known to everyone. I mean the truth, the exact, total, bare, ugly truth about the government's associations with Grace and the Seeker Empire, and also about everything they've done to the humans on every levels, in all programs, through all organizations. We will know about that. This is coming out. But it needs to come out very cleverly. That's why this plan of disclosure is very clever. Times to times, Thor Han is authorized, and it's also part of the plan to give some information and disclose a little bit of some parts of it, as he did last week, delivering this message. The truth will come out. For the moment, people of Earth need to understand that it is not the truth that is going to set them free. Truth sets us free. It is true, it is a fact. But in this particular occasion, it is about evolution, okay? Truth sets free, but not when it comes as a savior. Saviors do not really set free the people they save. They set them free physically, but not mentally. Because mentally, they need to set themselves free, and it comes from inside. The cabal needs to fall in order for the people to be able to freely embrace all the information publicly. Because the mainstream medias are still in the hands of the cabal. And many governments have power. So whatever truth comes out, it will be counteracted, fought back, and it can go very badly. So the Earth Alliance is working at taking the deep state down, and it's working. They are taken down. They are crumbling down. The people also needs to learn how to not give them power anymore by refusing anything that is imposed to them by fear. Inanna's message last week was very eloquent about that. So this And the fact also that the truth is always out, already out. Don't you see it? It's not out through mainstream media because it belongs to the deep state. How can you do that? It's not out from the governments that are in place because they will never tell the truth of what they've done to humanity. So how does it come back as, for now that the deep state is still in power, however small it is, as Thor Han said, how does the truth come out if it needs to come out now? Well, not by the governments, not by the mainstream medias, so by the alternative medias and by the people. This is happening. This has started. Many whistleblowers have come out and they are doing their best, and we need to support them. All the information about the secret space programs, the agreements with the Greys, the baddies in Antarctica with the Seeker Empire, everything is out. Everything is out. Now, for these truths to be propelled on the level of TVs and mainstream medias, well, the mainstream medias and TVs needs to not belong anymore to the deep states, which is not yet the case. So everything made sense. If tomorrow some spaceships from the Galactic Federation of Worlds shall land on the green in front of the White House, for instance, they would be completely shot at, destroyed, and it would be war and blue beam operation, alien invasions. They will be demonized, and that would be such a mess. So it cannot happen as long as the deep state is in power. But the truth has already come out. The plan of disclosure is unfolding safely and without obstacles, because they know how to do this. They've studied it, and it is done by very specific ways. And you see the results when you look on the voice of the people, the not the mainstream medias, but the alternative medias, which will become mainstream very shortly. The truth is out. It's up to you to spread it. Okay? And don't take shit from the governments and the mainstream medias. That's history. Oona's message was very interesting, informative. For those who are not really familiar to the Nine and the Cedars, I described a lot about it in my book, The Cedars. Actually, here. Get it. You have everything about the Intergalactic Confederation, the Nine, and how all their programs work. It's very informative. It's a big book, and there's much more in it. From now to September, something is going to happen in the night sky that is worth mentioning. Tau Corona Borealis is a star in the northern hemisphere in the constellation of Corona Borealis. And it is going supernova. Well, it went supernova a long time ago. And now the event, the light years, are about to reach the Earth visually. Visually, the vision of it, it's very far. It's so far that there's no radiation coming at us. When I say reach the vision, the light years, the image of this supernova is going to travel to space to meet Earth from now to September. So it's suddenly Tau Corona Borealis is going to be the brightest object in the night sky for a few weeks. And so we do not really know the date where it will be visible on Earth, but keep your eyes out. Corona Borealis, it's a very easy to spot. It's not far from the Great Bear, the Chariot, and it's a crown, like a C shape. It's very nice. So keep your eyes in the sky and see what happens if you can be lucky and and see it. Well, it will stay a few weeks anyway, visible even more. So don't worry. So this. And I will meet you in September in Denver, Colorado, 27 to 29 September. Well, not exactly in Denver, in Westminster, between Denver and Boulder, Colorado. I will be there with Mrs. Danny Henderson and many very renowned whistleblowers and people of the disclosure. There will be personnel from the Galactic Federation in the audience and the team. And JP will make an appearance on stage. Do not miss this. Do not miss this. So you find the link to get your tickets in the description box of this video. And until next week, I am wishing you a very nice week. Spread love and be the change you want to see in this world.
Star Nation News was brought to you by Elena Danan. Don't miss the latest news every Monday on Elena Danan's channel. Video directed by StefZak.